Council Vice President Paulus, would you please read the Open Public Meeting Act?
This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of March 13th, 2024 was included in a list of meeting notices sent to newspapers of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Skirbo, would you please do the invocation?
Sure. Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Here.
Councilman Kennedy?
Here.
Councilman Skirbo?
Here.
Council Vice President Paulus?
Here.
Council President Marino?
Here. Bills list, please.
The regular bills list as of March 12th, 2024 is $1,102,655.39. The prepaid bill list is zero for a grand total of $1,102,655.39.
Thank you. Motion to accept the bills?
So moved.
Council President?
Yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
On the bill list, I see $1,020 for pipes and drapes for council meetings. Now, what's done is done. I just don't feel it was necessary. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion to pay him. Do we have a second?
So moved.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, the minutes of the February 14th regular and executive.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Public discussion on agenda items. Okay, seeing none, we're moving on. Okay, ordinances for second reading. 02024-03, a redevelopment plan ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, county of Warren, state of New Jersey, pertaining to block 1005, lot 13, commonly known as 540 Marshall Street and designated as an area in need of rehabilitation by the town of Phillipsburg in accordance with NJSA 40A 12A-7 entitled 40A 12A-7 Adoption of the Redevelopment Plan. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion with council before we open it to the public? Hearing none, seeing none. Since this is a second reading, it's open to the public. Anyone want to talk about it, please state your name. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Ordinance for the first reading, 02024-06, an ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, county of Warren, state of New Jersey, replacing chapter 67-7 road truck restrictions and schedule 4 with chapter 67-7 designated truck route. We'll take the ordinances one at a time. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on council? Okay, the public doesn't get first, only the council. Seeing none? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus,
Yes.
Council President Marino,
Yes. Second ordinance for the first reading, 02024-07. Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. NJSA 48-4-4514.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion by council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Okay, resolutions on the consent agenda. Resolution 2024-41 through Resolution R2024-47. We need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion by council on the floor? No? Okay. We need a roll call. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Moving on to old business. Any councilman have any old business? Councilman Skirbo?
Yeah, I have something. I just want to thank our business administrator, Matt Hall, for helping draft the resolution from our prior meeting, disavowing the comments from the former mayor, Frank Needler, and expressing support to renaming the street a different name. I want to thank him for his help on that. And moving forward, collectively, hopefully, council, we can work together to find a new name for that street to what we find is right for the town. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman.
Any other old business? New business. Council, Skirbo?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls from the Irwin Street area. Wonder if we can get out there and maybe do a traffic study. There's a lot of speeding going on. I'm not a traffic expert. I know the police, they set up equipment. Maybe we can look into that area. There's a lot of kids that play there, and a lot of cars parked where they can come out, and a lot of blind spots where it could be dangerous. We're also having a problem with people parking illegally at the bus stop in that area, making it hard for the bus to get there to let the children off. So maybe if we can get there and take a look at what we could do to make it safer over in that area, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Skirbo. Matt, could you let the chief of police know that it's a heavily populated area? A lot of the little precious angels are up there, and there's a lot of parking problems there, so that'd be appreciated.
Absolutely.
Councilman Kennedy?
I don't have anything.
Councilman Clark?
I'm good, thank you.
You're welcome. Council Vice President Paulus?
No, nothing. Thank you.
And I don't have anything, I'm done. Motions. Firefighter application, Ryan Buckholz.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo,
Yes.
Council Vice President Paulus,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes, and thank God we're getting more volunteers because we are a volunteer town. Okay, public petitions.
Again. I want to make one or two things, actually. One statement, I want to comment about the Open Space Committee because of a recent article that was in a paper saying that the committee failed. Personally, I take offense to that as somebody who was serving on both the Rec Committee and the Open Space Committee. Those committees were never given a chance. Since DJ Copese left, meetings stopped. We've had 2 recreation directors in between who have done nothing with either one of those committees. And I don't feel it's fair to the people that put the work in and the new people that were appointed to that committee back in October who have not had a chance to do the work on those committees. I think it was a very unfair statement by the reporter to say that. So I have a question. What shared service agreements do we currently have in place?
Matt Hall?
Alpha PD, animal control, Alpha Court. I may be missing one, but honestly, we don't have very many.
Okay, so there's been discussion at previous meetings about vehicles being used, what the former mayor did. So I was told something, and I thought before I say anything, I'm going to do research. So I opened some information on a town vehicle and the GPS records. And when I got them, the last statement says, personal information has been redacted from the report. So why is a town vehicle being used for personal use? Because realistically, the only town vehicle that should go home in this town with anybody is the on-call detective. Because they need to get to a crime scene, secure evidence, preserve the crime scene, and here is a report with a whole lot of information blacked out at all different times. Not to mention other personal use that's on the vehicle. I mean, I didn't write the report. This is what was printed out. So we've heard a lot of talk in the past about the JIF and what the JIF would do with vehicles. So what's the JIF going to do if this vehicle is used for personal use and that person gets in an accident? Who covers that? Sorry, I mean, we're talking about cutting. Here's an expense we can cut because gas, mileage, wear and tear on a vehicle, tires earlier than needed, brakes earlier than needed. And how many other vehicles is this happening with? Because you can't sit up here and say as I do, do as I say, not as I do, and criticize somebody else for using a vehicle for personal use when it's being done. It's just facts. I didn't make up the report, I just asked for it.
No, it's a fair point. I don't drive any, so I can't answer that. Matt, do you have any answers for it?
The personal information you're referring to is the home address of the person who drives the
But
vehicle.
why is it being taken home? It's a town-owned vehicle. If it sits at the municipal building to be used for town business, I'm all fine with that. Shouldn't it be going home? There should not be personal information on a town-owned vehicle. Just shouldn't. You can't condemn somebody else and then sit up here and do the exact opposite of what you're criticizing other people for doing. That's all.
Any other public petitions?
Good evening, David Morissette, address redacted on advice of counsel. So yeah, just one quick thing regarding rental, the renting ordinance. So if rental price controls are put into effect, the end effect of rent control, if it is on units 4 or less, will be to reduce the number of rental units in the town of Phillipsburg. I know some of the folks here took Econ 101 when they were in college. And those who didn't take Econ 101 have common sense. When the profit margin goes down on the rental units, you're going to have landlords selling. Now, I'm not going to argue for or against rent control, but I do think it should be, I do think you should take into consideration what the effect is going to be. And actually, this is something, this may surprise you when I say this, but this is something that I actually am in complete agreement with former Councilman Robert Fuller. However, I don't know that you can argue that a long-term reduction in rental units is a positive for renters. So again, I'm not arguing for or against rent control, but I do think you need to be realistic as to what the long-term effects are of rent control. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Joan Pierce. I'm going to follow up for Mr. Morris about rent control. And I'm going to quote Councilman Kennedy when we had about rent control. The rents that he quoted were from Hunterdon County, Morris County, Sussex County. You can shake your head all you want. I did my research. My husband's not from here. The ones you quoted was from Ocean County, which was Tom's River, Hunterdon County, which was Bloomsbury, and Sussex County was Hopatcon. You can shake your head all you want. I'm quoting the facts that you stated. Rent control is really needed
I'm
here.
disagreeing with your facts, so.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. It's my time.
No back and forth.
Okay, so I'm a renter. I was a homeowner here. Okay? You keep letting the rents go as high as they are, you're not going to have to worry about anybody living here. Okay? You may be a homeowner. I was a homeowner at one time, and I'm a renter now. And I've lived in my rental apartment for 2 years now, and my rent has gone up drastically. I'm not eligible for any assistance, as you would put it. And like I stated the last time I was here, you keep making the rents go up, you're not going to have to worry about anybody living here or worry about any businesses coming here. We're worried about the people staying here and the people living here. I'm a lifer here. I'd like to stay here. And you're worried about we can't pay our bills, but now our taxes are going up. Our sewer rate just went up 12%. Now our taxes are going to go up, not counting school tax, and the library went up because we need a public library that cost us $1 million. A public library. It's pretty sad that everything keeps going up except for our paychecks. And a lot of us are on fixed incomes, and a lot of us aren't. And a lot of us fall under the guidelines or over the guidelines, and our seniors and our children live here. But all yous are worried about is, like council said, the budget. And we didn't pay our bills last month, or last year rather, excuse me. But none of you could say how to cut it. But 2 council members voted for a fat budget last year, and here we are. And there's no way to cut it. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Regarding the library went to referendum. The voters decided to fund the library. Just wanted to make that point.
Joe Minor again. At the, what are they called? Work session, last work session, which was on rent control, the President, Pete Marino, promised that there would be more public meetings on rent control, at which time I will present my 2 cents. Anyone who would like my 2 cents, there's 2 pieces. One, a proposed compromise, and the other is a argument that establishes where the appropriate place has to be for rent control, the place where the bottom moves to, that's Phillipsburg. These are documents. Just tell me, I will email you both those documents.
Thank you, Joe.
After the meeting, of course. I expect a long line.
Any others under public petitions?
Dan Boyce. I have a question about the library. Now that it's fully funded by taxpayers, do they have to pay their own utilities, maintenance costs, insurance costs, wages, everything else now? Or is the town still going to foot the bill for that? Which is one way to cut taxes there, I'm guessing. Okay. Second of all, I mean, that's when you guys...
Currently under negotiations.
Okay. Well, I think it's something that the public should know.
Sure. And that's where we're at. We're in talks.
Okay. Second thing is the warehouse. The warehouse has been paused for how long? At least 3 years, which means I understand there's a $13,000, it brings in $13,000 in taxes a year now as it sits. But if it was developed, it would be at least $1 million. $1 million has been wasted 3 years by a frivolous lawsuit that most of the points have been thrown out by the judge. I don't know why it's continuing, but it is continuing. Okay, I'm looking at it with all the problems Phillipsburg has. 1 year's time, the tax is $1 million. Phillipsburg could build a homeless shelter to address the homeless problem we have in town, okay? There's a lot of lost jobs. The most pathetic thing is these people, and I don't want to say, I mean, there's a lot of kids going to bed at night hungry because people don't like the way they look in the mirror. I don't know what the hell is the reason they want to fight this for. The man bought the property, he owns the property. You can't see the property from South Main Street, so using that argument is stupid, okay? You have to go all the way down Howard Street before you would see it, okay? There's always, you know, the argument about the traffic, which has already been addressed. It's been said numerous times, but every time you say that it's being addressed, they say, well, there's going to be truck traffic. There's going to be truck traffic all over. Once upon a time, there was at least like 8 or 9 industries within the South Main Center Street area. What would you say if all these industries would still be in function now? Stockton Street, you had Martin Ziffel was one. You had Orbell across from the elementary school. You had the pluck industry. How many trucks used Center Street for Ingersoll Rand? That was okay then. Now you don't want it. It's, I don't know. People want to complain, oh, I like my town look good. I like my town look good too, but I've seen some of my neighbors. I don't know what the hell's wrong. I don't understand some people's arguments that are just ludicrous, really. I watch a science fiction network and they can't write this stuff as good as what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Anyone else under public petitions?
Hello, Karen Weifel. I'm a homeowner in town here, and I just caught something a couple minutes ago that the shared things that we do, the police with Alpha,
Service agreement.
Can you answer me then why our inspector was in Lehigh Valley Live saying how he works for us here in Peaburg as well as Alpha, and how, quote, he would leave a job here in Peaburg and go immediately to one in Alpha and was paying, you know, getting paid $25 more an hour or whatever it was he said in there. So, I mean, that's annoying as a taxpayer. So we're...
Not publicly. So it does touch on personnel, so although you're not part of the governing body.
He said it publicly, it was on Lehigh Valley Live.
He can say whatever he wants publicly. These people up here cannot.
I'm just making you aware that as a taxpayer, I would hope that that's not happening. That I'm paying a salary for somebody that's working here, and he's doing other business on my dollar. You know what I mean? Just wanted to bring that to your attention because it was out there on Lehigh Valley Live. So, okay?
Sure.
Thank you. Look into that.
Anyone else?
Very good point.
Okay, last call. Anyone else under public petitions? Hearing none, seeing none. Council, open time. Councilman Skirbo.
Yeah, so like I said before, like I stated before, I think it's important that when we're on social media putting out information as elected officials, that it's accurate information. Past couple of weeks, I've seen stuff that was mistruths, maybe things to try to stir up controversy. Mr. Clark stated that we had a secret meeting. That was a work session that's been published since January, which he voted no for, by the way, back in January. So that schedule was posted. If you looked at the agenda and you looked at what you voted on before, you would have known that yourself. Also, it stated that he authored the resolution that I thanked our BA. It was in a Lehigh Valley Live article stating that he authored it and he wrote it. It's not accurate. So I just, again, I would caution, if I put something out, it's going to be accurate, it's going to be facts to back it up. And if I don't, I would hope you would hold me accountable too. We can't do this going forward as a town. We can't do this. We have 5 people on council. We can't have one person putting misinformation out there and then coming here and then trying to work together. It just doesn't work. We need to work together, which I thought we were going in the right direction until I started seeing these comments. Like I said, I would caution on that moving forward. And as far as rent control, since it was brought up by our residents a lot here at the podium, I'm for rent control. Everyone's hurting. Personally, I'm looking for a second job for my family. Something has to give. If we can find some way we can cut something for our residents where we can save money, I'm all for it, and I don't think there should be opposition to that. There's things that are not under our control. The budget, we explained millions of things that happened in the past where we're at now that I wasn't on council during that time, so I really can't be responsible for that. I'm only responsible for where I'm at now. So I'm for rent control, and I'm actually for every rental unit, not 3 or more. I'm for every rental unit in town. We need some kind of relief here. Inflation's skyrocketing. People are, can't even, sometimes they don't even know if they can provide groceries for their families. We got to do something here, and we got to work together. We got to stop putting misinformation out. We got to start working together and be on the same page. Thank you.
Councilman Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm going to lighten it up some. Oh, can somebody get that? I'll talk over it. I'm going to lighten it up. As a person of Irish descent, I want to invite everyone this Sunday, 9:30, to Chappelle Park. We're going to raise the Irish flag. And if you're not of Irish descent, there's an old Irish saying, there's always room for one more, so you can all be honorary Irishmen for that day. And I'm jealous of my friend Dennis back here with his outfit. I'm envious of that. So, yeah, if you can attend, it would be great, and hope to see you there.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Clark?
Yes, so a few updates first. First of all, I want to thank Norwestcap for inviting us to participate in Reading Across America last week. Both me and Mayor Piazza went to the Head Start program to read to the preschoolers there. Great time. I think it's a very good investment for the youth to learn how to read because it's a critical base for education and in their creative development. So thank you to Norwestcap for sponsoring that. Also on the ground of Norwestcap, Frolic in the Park for this year will be scheduled for May 2nd, 2024, 5 p.m. to 7 at Walters Park. So come out if you can. It's going to be a great time. And just to reiterate Councilman Kennedy's point, St. Patrick's Day flag raising. So Matt, I just wanted to thank you for working with me to help reserve the space for 9:30 a.m. for the event. Sure. So I think that's all good. And then regarding the comments of open space that were made earlier, I completely agree. And I do apologize for every member that was voted on to serve on that committee because y'all didn't deserve that. My final point, and I really didn't want to end on this point, but when you're being slandered at the dais, I mean, all Robert's rules just thrown out on that one. I mean, we're not supposed to address anyone up here by name. We're supposed to have more courtesy, more professionalism than that. I mean, we can disagree all we want, but you don't take that beyond professionalism. We're elected council people. Now, we need to keep decorum because the reporters are here. They're reporting on this. Developers read about this. It makes us look bad. We're adults up here. I hate to say that I'm the youngest one up here calling older ones out. Don't do that. Don't act like that. Have more sense. You may disagree with me. That's all right, but don't pull that. Be better than that. Be slandered like that. Now, they say if you can't attack someone's argument, attack the person. Try to discredit them. I will never apologize for keeping transparency. Never. And I will never be intimidated in not speaking the truth. So I'm more than happy to have those discussions with you, my colleague, but don't ever try to intimidate me. Don't ever try to discredit me. No. He's already trying.
I know it. You have to remind me.
Well,
I know it.
again-
There'll be no rebuttals, and it's not going to happen from the next meeting.
Thank you.
Every councilman, including everyone, you're going to be professional, or I will call you out.
Thank you.
Was I unprofessional, Council President?
No, I'm going to leave it go. Let him finish up, and that's it. Leave it go.
So that's all I wanted to say.
And that goes for everyone, by the way. Everyone on council. You're going to get called out publicly if you call another councilman out. Continue.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking, just civil decorum. So thank you very much for everyone for coming out. I know we had a heated budget discussion, but again, that is democracy. We're not always going to agree, but let's get it done. But yes, I'm in its current form, I can't support the budget, but at least we can have the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Vice President Paulus?
I think I've said a lot tonight, and I'm looking forward to hearing where those cuts are going to be recommended, because otherwise, I support the budget. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, I had the opportunity to walk some of the open space in Phillipsburg. Born and raised in downtown Phillipsburg, and anyone knows where Mount Parnassus is? Can anyone tell me if that's one whole mountain or is it divided? What is it,
Train
Bill?
track that runs right through the middle of it.
It's divided in 3 spots. 3 spots. You walked it in the rain. You'd be surprised that there's a lot of open space back there, my opinion. Not a professional, just a Pete Marino from the town of Phillipsburg, born and raised downtown. There's so much land down there that I'm hoping and praying that project comes in that will clean that area up. You won't be able to see it from, what's it, Cherry Alley, I believe, if my memory's right. And the sad part, the sad thing in America, which we have no control over, we were called down here by a private entity to see the homeless, to see the debris, to see the unsanitary conditions. It's my understanding if it's railroad property and you make a complaint, they will fence it off. So you got trails to rails coming in, or rails to trails, I'll get them screwed up. And you got a lot of beauty back there that could and is going to happen. You move further down south there of that area, it's a garbage dump. There's more down there. So I know the town has been diligently working on cleaning it up. That social problem is not a Phillipsburg problem, it's a country problem, not ours. We don't have the resources for it. But I'm gonna say one thing to my fellow council people. You wanna argue? I'll argue all night long. But I'm not gonna take it no more. I let it slide tonight. It won't slide no more. You talk about transparency, you talk about being a gentleman or a lady, talk about talent, and we're gonna start acting it because I'll shut you down. You can do all you want. You're going to be professional because I know for a fact people want to move up here and we portray this kind of imagery to them. Why would you want to spend $300,000 for a house on the lower end, and I won't mention the street, that doesn't have a backyard or a parking place out front? So if they're willing to do that, we should be mature enough to act like adults. And don't play your political agenda up here. I'm too old to hear that. Act on what's good for the town, what's coming into the town. And by the way, outside of Matt Skirbo, we served on school boards and town council. You want a lesson, you want to learn, go there before you come here. They're 2 different entities. Okay, people talk about, oh, do the job you're supposed to. That's all I ask my fellow council people. Do the job you're supposed to. We're not all going to agree. I'll tell you right now, they're young, I'm old. I think young, but they don't think the way I think. I'm thinking 10 years down the line what's going to come to Phillipsburg. And if you portray this negativity, it's not going to come. 20 years ago, we're going to put a train museum in here. I donated, I don't know how much stuff to that museum. My grandparents, my uncles, my dad worked on all 2 different railroads. Phillipsburg had 5. I don't even know what happened to all that stuff. I'll never donate nothing again. Never came. All these promises. This point on, council, you're going to act like adults or I'm going to gavel you down. If you don't like me, personally, I don't care. But we're going to do what we got elected to, and we're going to listen to the people. Whether we like to listen to them or not, you will have a voice. That's the way I operate. That's the way I work. When I raise my hand to take an oath, I'm telling the God's honest truth before God, or I won't put my hand on that Bible. With that, there's no executive session. I'm done talking. My voice is gone. A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening and be safe.